you can't come to the phone right now. I'm listening to Party Talk Podcast.
Welcome to the Party Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Cooper Keimig, back with Chris Keimig. Today's episode, we're going to be reviewing the first week of fantasy football. We're going to go over the slate, give some sleepers, pit of the week, and much more. So without further ado, let's just go over the quick slate right now. So it's an interesting slate we have. There's a Thursday night game, obviously, and then there is a Friday night game. I believe it's in Brazil. All right, so Thursday night, we got Baltimore versus the Kansas City Chiefs. That'll be a good one. Friday night is going to be the Packers versus Eagles. And then we'll get into the Sunday slate. So the early games, got Pittsburgh at the Falcons, Arizona at Buffalo, got Titans at Chicago, got New England at the Bengals, Houston at Colts, Jags at Dolphins, Panthers at Saints, Vikings at Giants, Raiders at Chargers, Denver at Seattle, got the Cowboys at the Browns, the Commanders at the Buccaneers, and then the late game is the Rams at the Lions. And then Monday night football is going to be the Jets versus the 49ers. All right, Chris, you want to start us off with your start of the week?
Yeah, I'm looking at the Bills and the Cardinal game. I'm looking at Dalton Kincaid of the Bills. The Bills traded away everybody. Diggs is gone. Gabe Davis walked away in free agency. They did add Keon Coleman, so he's probably going to be their number one. Or I'm thinking maybe number two. I think their number one is going to be my guy, and I'm going with Kincaid. I'm thinking 75 yards and a touchdown that first week. So if he's still out there, grab him and start him.
Yeah, it's a good pick. So my start of the week, it's going to be Christian Watson. You know, he's been injured a lot in his career, but when he is healthy, he is one of the most talented end zone target earners in the league. And he's just a big play threat. You know, when he's playing at least 75% of the game, he's putting up numbers. So, like I said, they have their matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles. And if their defense is anything like last year, if you remember at one point, they were the worst against the pass. They're pretty good against the run, but by far against the pass. You know, I can see them being a little better this season, but, you know, they might go from last to maybe 20th worst, which isn't that huge of a difference. So I like Christian Watson this week. I think that game will be a shootout, and he's got a great matchup. So I'm going to start Christian Watson. All right, Chris, tell me about your sleeper of the week. Somebody who's going under the radar, not drafted in too many leagues, maybe available on the waiver wire. Who you got, Chris?
I debated drafting this guy, and I passed because I thought I could sneak him by on waivers, but he's starting to catch a lot of steam right now. So I got Wan'Dale Robinson of the Giants. They play the Vikings the very first week. Their defense, the back end's not very tough. So I think he's their number 2 wide receiver. I'm going to play in the slot a lot, so I can see 10 fantasy points. He went undrafted in a lot of leagues, but I guess until I picked him up last night, I sat there and said, I got to give him a chance. So I picked him up, and I think he'll do pretty good this first week.
Okay. Yeah, so my sleeper of the week is going to be Josh Palmer of the Chargers. I was surprised when I looked. He's only 39% rostered in ESPN leagues. This is somebody who I was making sure I left drafts with this season. Right now, he's Justin Herbert's wide receiver 1. The Chargers, they have a lot of open targets this season since Mike Williams and Keenan Allen are no longer there. Just looking back to last year in 2 games against the Raiders, who they play this week, Josh Palmer scored 10.7 PPR points and 21.3. In both of those games, the first one he had 77 yards. In the second game, he had 113 yards and a touchdown. for those reasons, he's going to be my sleeper of the week, and I think he should be rostered in more leagues.
I got
All
one
right.
more. I got
See
one
that.
more. A long shot. I think it's going to be Christian McCaffrey's little brother. I heard he's a starting wide receiver
Luke McCaffrey.
for the Redskins this year. And he played for Nebraska as a quarterback, and he's got some speed. He's probably just as fast as Christian. But I'm not sure how his hands are. But if he's the number 2 wide receiver out there in Washington, just a sleeper guy. So take a look and see if he's out there.
Okay. So, one of the favorite segments we have on the show, Pit of the Week. So if you guys don't know, if this is your first time tuning in, the Pit of the Week is more of a turd of the week, somebody who we think is going to play bad, and they've really got to prove us wrong until we want to start them again. So Chris, why don't you tell me about your Pit of the Week?
The Pit, named after Kyle Pitts, because he's been in the pits. We'll see how he does this year, but I'm going with Alexander Madison. I think you got stuck with him last year. Vikings let him go. He's on the Raiders now, or whatever city they're playing. And I don't even know where the Raiders are playing this year, but he's decent when he gets out in the open, but he cannot run through the tackles. And if the Raiders plan on using them as his goal line back, good luck. Because I think I heard a stat when I was driving the other day. He's like 2 for 25 inside the goal line on attempts last year. So this is I don't know if you guys got him. You're pretty desperate, but good luck with that one.
Yeah. So my Pit of the Week, it's going to be Stephon Diggs. And I'm not saying don't start him. This is more of a have some precaution when you're starting him. The Texans' offense is stacked. They got a lot of playmakers. They brought in Diggs for a reason. I get that. But I just want to see how the Houston Texans use their receivers before I'm going to start. I mean, I'll start Nico Collins 100%. I think he's the best receiver in that room. But, I just want to play it safe. I want to see if Diggs is going to get more snaps over Tank Dell, how that wide receiver room will shake its way out. So just be precautious starting Stephon Diggs this week.
Lot of mouths to feed in that team.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to go over our best streamer defense of the week. My favorite streamer defense, I got them in a couple leagues, is the Cincinnati Bengals. They're only rostered in about 65% of leagues. They have a matchup against the New England Patriots with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. That offense was terrible last season. I expect it to be maybe a little better, but I don't expect big things out of New England. So start the Bengals this week. Who's your streamer defense of the week, Chris?
I got a worse quarterback, I think, going against. I like the Bears. I mean, I don't like them, but I like them this week against the Titans. When they added Montez Sweat last year, the whole team changed. The whole defense changed. Man, I wish the Vikings would have grabbed him, but he's got a year under his belt, and he's going against Will Levis. Now that's scary. I don't know who's worse, Bissett or Will Levis. I don't know.
Oh, don't go there. I love Will Levis.
Oh God, he's been drinking the Kool-Aid. I think Bears get 10 points. Not bad for a streamer team. So,
all right. So let's wrap up with somebody who you guys just need to keep in mind going into next week. So this is somebody who we think we could be picking up next week. Somebody who could be at the top of the waiver wire. Just total speculation. Someone we're just keeping an eye on. So why don't you tell me about yours, Chris?
I'm going with one of our favorites from last year. Had him a couple times on the show. Greg Dortch of the Cardinals. He's not there all the time, but when he's there, he lights it up. So he's finished this season 4 out of 6 weeks were in double-digit fantasy points. He's playing alongside MHJ. Is that what we're going to call Marvin Harrison Jr.? MHJ.
We'll see if it sticks. I don't know.
Yeah, but he's going to be the big dog on that team. So I can see Dortch getting a little bit of those crumbles left on the field. So you know, Harrison's going to be doubled most of the time, so I think Dortz is going to go. Some pretty good games. Maybe 5 for 80 first week, maybe.
Yeah, I am pretty high on the Cardinals offense, so I think that could be a good sneak pick. Like you said, we were talking about him a lot last year, so I like that one. So someone you just need to keep an eye on is Jawan Johnson, tight end of the Saints. He's only 14% roster. Don't pick him up right now. I'm just saying he could have a big week. Last season he finished strong. He had 4 solid performances. He had 3 touchdowns in those 4 weeks. He had a 12 target game mixed in there. I personally don't think there's a clear number 2 target in the offense. So you have Chris Olave, he's the number 1. Alvin Kamara, number 2, a running back, it's the second target. Yeah, so someone other than Olave needs to catch passes in an offense which actually threw on the top end of passes last year. They're, I think, top 6 in the league, which was surprising. I think Jawan Johnson could have a sneaky good week, and we could be picking him up next week because everybody
Hey,
needs a tight end. Yeah. All right, that'll do it for the Part Talk podcast. Catch you next time.
later.
Yeah. All right, that'll do it for the Part Talk podcast. Catch you next time.
Later.